Hi guys, it's Wendy with Ask the Landlady, and it's Friday, so we're talking timeshare specifically. Where is it? Never buy timeshare. Check out my book on Amazon. Tells you everything you want to know about timeshare. Not to do it, if you're in it, how to get out of it, all the tips and tricks there. So I had a question from somebody. They're like, "Okay, Wendy, you keep saying never buy it, but I love those resorts. How do I get into them if I don't buy into the timeshare?" Great question. So what you're going to do is you're going to rent the timeshare instead of buying it. And you can get that exact same resort, the exact same view, exact same week, everything you want without signing a single contract. No maintenance fees, no 40 plus year commitment, no sitting through a 90-minute sales pitch just to get a free breakfast. Go buy your own breakfast and rent your own place, right? I'm Wendy, the landlady, and today I'm going to show you how to vacation like a timeshare owner without all the headaches and the problems that come with being a timeshare owner. So let's start with the math, because math is the whole argument, right? You know me, I'm Ask the Landlady. I'm all about math, all about making a profit. I'm all about the money. And so let's start there. I did a survey of a bazillion, 400 timeshare owners, and the average annual maintenance cost was like $4,000, right? That's before you paid a dime. That doesn't mean your initial inlay of money, right? That's $4,000 a year just in maintenance fees, right? And if you have a place at the beach and you're already paying the 4,000, you still have your flights, you have your food, da da da. And here's the kicker, though: when I ask the same owners how their timeshare costs, vacation costs compared to just booking the same accommodations independently, only about 20% thought it was cheaper, and the rest said it was the same, more expensive, or they weren't even quite sure. Well, I can guarantee you from some of my research, it is always cheaper to rent it out, because if you're not going to go every year, why would you have that huge outlay of money when you're just going to rent it when you want to? What if your dates change? What if your time, you can no longer travel in July, but you've already locked into this timeshare that's only available in July. Now you want to go in August. How do you do it? You'd have to rent that one out to try to get it's a hassle. It will cost you more in headaches and money than is even worth it to do that. And I did a little research because my family likes to go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and there is a property there that everybody likes that somebody in the family owns there. They can't even get in there for Thanksgiving, but I can go online and I can rent those rooms out like dirt cheap, like $100 a night. So they're paying 1,500 for the week, and we're paying 700 for the week just by renting it direct. So there's a lot of examples out there. If you know one, shoot me one in the comments. I'd love to hear that. Have you looked up the timeshare you own and see what it could cost if you just rented it out? You might be really shocked at what you're going to find. Because if you rent often, if you're going to rent something from somebody else, you're often paying just enough to cover the maintenance fee, right? Maybe a fraction of what the hotel room would cost in that area. So you get that 2-bedroom villa, the full kitchen, the resort pool, and you walk away when the week's over. No deed, no annual maintenance fee, no nothing like that. So there's a lot of ways to rent that out. First of all, you want to go to Myrtle Beach, say. Maybe you're in an area like I am where a lot of people own condos at Myrtle Beach. Put out an all call on Facebook. Anybody have timeshare at Myrtle Beach are willing to rent out to me? You would be surprised. You might be in groups all across the country where you can find somebody that is willing to rent out their timeshare. And a lot of times it can be cheap because they just want to cover their maintenance fees, right? That's all they want. Or if it's getting close, they may not even be able to do that. They're at least getting some of their money back if they rent to you directly. And then so that's one great way of doing it. So where else can we find them? Because, where do we find these elusive timeshare rental properties? It's not exactly a secret, because if you have one and you can't go that year, you're desperate to unload it, right? So a lot of people are desperate to unload it in general, but that's another story. So Red Week is your biggest one. That's your really reputable group that you can go to, a marketplace specifically built for timeshare owners to rent and resell also their week, since the first place I point people to. You can search by resort, by brand, by destination, time, period, and you deal directly with the owner instead of a corporation. And they're excellent at making sure that they don't rent it to you through Red Week until they've made sure that that transfer is made with the company. Say you have a week at Marriott Vacation Club. I have one at Hilton Head. Maybe I don't want to go. I can't go. I put it on Red Week. Red Week will verify before that person comes in to rent, before that person shows up there, that I have changed the name and date and all that. So everything runs smoothly. So very reputable, great place to start. Number 2 is the Timeshare Users Group, or TUG, TUG. It's another gold mine. It's less of a slick marketplace like Red Week, which I think is just so easy, user friendly. It's more of a community of actual owners who know their resorts inside and out, and they post rentals there too. And you can ask them real questions before you book. And another great place that I have used before is booking.com. I use booking.com all the time when I travel, especially overseas. It's a great resource for those. And a lot of times people are putting their timeshares or their condos that they own on there. And a lot of them are timeshare properties, and you won't even know. You're just renting it like you rent a hotel, and you can look for that same thing. This is a growing trend that a lot more people are putting them on booking.com, especially large resorts that have a lot of excess units, that you might want to check that out. So those are your 3 main places besides just word of mouth and checking your area and seeing who has a condo to rent. So here's something that most people don't realize. You're not just getting a deal, because great, getting a deal, everybody likes a deal. You're also helping someone. You're helping a timeshare owner that can't go and is sitting on this maintenance fee that's really angry about it. So kind of helping them out too. So that's just a good thing. Everybody feels good about that when you're traveling, right? Oh, I helped them out. I helped them pay their maintenance fees. I get to go to this resort without this financial burden of paying for this every year. I got it for the same price as if I had given that company $30,000 up front and locked myself in for the rest of my life, right? I'm paying this person who unfortunately did that, but I'm paying that fee and getting to use it just like I would without that hassle, without that contract. So as usual, I always want to tell you what to look out for, any red flags, a few landlady roles before you book someone else's week. Number 1, confirm that reservation is actually made in your name, or you have a confirmation number. You can call the resort directly to verify. I know if people have done a booking with RCI, they have to do a change name thing, which is going to cost anywhere from $85 to $125 to change it into your name so that you can get into it. Because if not, you're going to show up at Florida, Orlando, trying to get in your unit, and it's still in the other person's name, and that front desk is not going to let you in. So you want to verify that that's all done before any money exchanges hands. You make sure you've called, you make sure that you've gotten written confirmation, it's in your name. So number 2, never wire money to anyone that you don't know. I would be very careful about that. What's great about using Red Week for those transactions is you pay Red Week and Red Week pays that person, but they don't release the money until they make sure you have gotten into your unit, right? So that's fantastic. And if you stick with the bigger properties like Marriott and Hilton, Disney Vacation Club, those all have more transparency and are much easier to verify than your smaller independent properties about whether or not you're going to be able to get in on the day of arrival. So it's not complicated. It's just your due diligence. The same due diligence that timeshare person hopes you don't do before you sign on the dotted line, right? Make sure you do it. Make sure you do it so you know you can get in on that day. And 2, don't just willy-nilly send money. Make sure there's a mechanism that confirms. Maybe you only give a partial, and then once you get there and you're in, you give the rest, right? Have some sort of safeguard in place if you aren't going to be using Red Week or Tug or booking.com and those types of interfaces. So in closing here, renting gives you everything that sales rep promised you, right? You get the resort, you get the pool, you get the workout room, you get the activities, you get all the fantastic stuff that comes with timeshare property. Because again, baby, that's why we like timeshare. That's why Americans love timeshare, because the properties, the resorts, they're beautiful, they're fantastic. You want to be there. But renting, you can be there on your own terms when you want to go, right? What you're willing to pay without being locked into it forever and ever in perpetuity, and then passing it down to your children that can't afford it or don't want it. So if you want the full playbook on this, how to rent, how to trade, how to get out if you want to get out, buy my book, Never Buy Timeshare. It's out on Amazon, and you can look for it, Never Buy Timeshare by Wendy Myers. So I'm the landlady, and I will see you next Friday, where again we talk all things timeshare. Have a great day.